Sulfonamides are antimicrobial agents that inhibit the cell metabolism of bacteria. There are three subgroups for sulfonamides: sulfadiazine, short acting; sulfamethoxazole, intermediate acting; sulfadoxine, long acting. What we'll discuss about this drug class is here we'll discuss what the drug does to the bacteria. Here we'll discuss its mode of action. Here we'll discuss what are its pharmacokinetics, resistance, how bacteria can develop resistance towards these group of drugs, its use, its adverse effects, and if some extra facts. Now, sulfonamides are bacteriostatic, that is, they stop the growth of bacteria. They do not kill the bacteria, but they stop the growth of bacteria. ST stands for the spectrum. Sulfonamides spectrum includes gram positive and gram negative bacteria, both specifically talking nocardia, actinomyces, and toxoplasms. Mode of action of sulfonamides. Sulfonamides are analog to PABA. Now, before getting into mode of action of sulfonamides, let's see synthesis of folic acid. As you know, folic acid is needed by bacteria to grow. It is a very necessary important part that bacteria need to grow, because folic acid provides bacteria with DNA, RNA, and protein. So these are required for the growth. So bacteria requires folic acid. Without folic acid, bacteria cannot grow. So the synthesis of folic acid occurs as following. It needs PABA and pteridine, which combine under the action of enzyme dihydropteroate synthase and give dihydropteroic acid, which gives dihydrofolic acid, which is acted upon by dihydrofolate reductase and gives tetrahydrofolic acid, which further gives purines, thymidine, and methionine. I would suggest that to remember the synthesis of folic acid, especially these two enzymes. So, as I earlier said, sulfonamides are analogous to PABA. Now, when bacteria are put in a medium with rich in PABA and also sulfonamides are administered, there are some bacteria that might take up sulfonamides instead of PABA because both are analogous. So when sulfonamides are taken instead of PABA, it causes formation of altered folic acid, so thereby it stops the metabolism of bacteria and thereby is bacteriostatic. Now, so we have seen that sulfonamides are analog to PABA. Also, this is the first mechanism of how sulfonamides act. Second, they inhibit the enzyme dihydropteroate synthase. That is, they inhibit this enzyme. As you can see, sulfonamides inhibit dihydropteroate synthase. So further folic acid synthesis cannot occur. So these are the two modes of action how sulfonamides act. Pharmacokinetics. Sulfonamides can easily cross the placenta and reach the fetus. Plasma and CSF, that is cerebrospinal fluid, concentrations are same. That is, when sulfonamide drugs are administered, its concentration in plasma and CSF will be same. It is highly protein bound in blood and its excretion is mainly through kidney. Now, how bacteria can develop resistance against sulfonamides? There are three mechanisms. First is they can increase the amount of PABA that is available to the bacteria. So if amount of PABA increases, obviously there will be less chances that the bacteria will take up sulfonamides. Second is they can go for an alternate metabolism where they do not need to synthesize folic acid. And the third is that enzyme low affinity, that is, they can make dihydropteroate synthase enzyme low affinity towards sulfonamides, so the enzyme will not react when sulfonamides are given. Its use. Sulfonamides are usually now not used alone. Their use alone has become very rare. They are mostly used in combination, that I'll discuss in my next video. So right now sulfonamides are mainly used for urinary tract infections. Adverse effect. There are many adverse effects of sulfonamides. Now, the name itself suggests that sulfonamides contains sulfur. So there are many people who have allergy towards sulfur containing compounds. So there can be cases of hypersensitivity. Stevens-Johnson syndrome is a sensitivity reaction that develops in skin and mucous membrane. It is a severe sensitivity reaction. Kernig-Terrace, as I already earlier said, that sulfonamides can cross placenta, so it can easily reach the fetus. And as we know, sulfonamides block the folic acid synthesis, so they can also block folic acid synthesis in fetus, so they can cause kernicterus in fetus, photosensitivity, and if the patient is deficient in G6PD enzyme, it causes hemolysis. It also causes crystal. Extra facts about sulfonamides. Now, as we all know, pus or tissue extracts that develop during chronic infections contain bacteria. So, whenever a person has some pus containing cavity, a sample of the pus is taken to check which bacterial infection he or she has. So, why is that? Why do bacteria thrive in pus? That is because pus has purine, thymidine, and PABA. Pus provides bacteria directly with purine and thymidine, so they can directly make protein, DNA, and RNA from this. They do not need to make folic acid. So we can say pus antagonizes the action of sulfonamides by providing bacteria directly with purine, thymidine, so their requirement to make folic acid decreases. So this was all about sulfonamides, all the important points that you need to remember about sulfonamides.